We're going to have a look at Atletico Madrid's deep build-up, typically through the left-hand side. Barcelona's press, Barcelona's 3-2 or 2-3 deep build-up and midfield build-up, and how Atletico Madrid adjusted their press to try and get something late in the game. Starting off with Atletico Madrid's deep build-up, they build up in this 2-3 shape with Madrid staying as the CDM and the two number 8s in Santos and Benini playing between the lines. This is against a 4-4-2 by Barcelona, although it can be a 3-2-3-2. Typically, they'll rotate the ball around the back line, but most of the time they're looking to try and play out towards that left-hand side. When they rotate it across the back line, then they try and get Madrid or push more towards that left-hand side. And to combat that, Barcelona move into that 3-2-3-2, where Giraldez typically will push higher up and a centre-back will step in beside Walsh. Being Barcelona, they're not happy allowing Medina to be able to receive the ball here, and so we immediately have Brooks pressing her. We've got Kira Walsh having pushed up to also try and box Atletico Madrid in that space. However, Medina was constantly looking to try and cut inside and drive beyond her marker and start Atletico Madrid in transition. This was facilitated by Benini pushing across to both cover in case Medina cutting inside failed, but then also acting as an option for a short pass, and they rotated too. Ultimately, Atletico Madrid are looking to play it up the left-hand side and get the ball into Ajibade and have her use her pace and talent on the ball to get into a crossing position. Barcelona are able to rebuff this initial foray forwards. Just as with Barca, the forwards try and position cleverly between centre-back and full-back to pin the full-backs narrow and create opportunities to underlap us on this occasion. Unfortunately, given how aggressive Barca defenders are in tracking players dropping, a lot of these attacks were rebuffed. Eventually, Barcelona are able to get in possession. After retreating to the goalkeeper, they set up into that 3-2 shape, where initially Bronze will start deeper with the midfield of Kira Walsh and Guijarro as the CDMs, and on this left-hand side, Batlle pushes up basically to left-wing position, with Caldente narrowing to play between the lines and also between the fullback and centre-back, allowing her to make that underlapping run, which will draw out the near-sided centre-back, creating a problem for both the centre-back and the fullback, as well as also the wide midfielder. The combination of these two was a key feature of the first half especially, but Barcelona did use both flanks and had their centre midfielders both come across and cover, such that typically Guijarro would become a quasi-fullback with Kira Walsh as more as a CDM, and then if it was on the right-hand side, then they would do the same. On this occasion, we see Guijarro looking to thread that ball for Mariona running in behind, creating that problem by positioning inside the fullback whilst also having Batlle really high up as well. Okay, so in this example, we see Atletico Madrid building up in a 2-3 midfield shape with Majarin as the CDM. They favour their left-hand side, looking to try and take advantage of the dynamism and skills of Benini, Lacey and Ajibade all on this left-hand side. This was against 4-5-1, and so as they build up through this left-hand side, Lacey Santos, she'll make her way over to also try and combine. So this puts obviously less onus on Medina to have to dribble past players, and she typically didn't really overlap, instead staying deeper to provide defensive cover. And just as Barcelona, they had their forwards, Ajibade on this occasion, making that underlapping run to create some confusion, but also create channels to pass inside as well. Fortunately, on this occasion, Barcelona able to win the ball, and they counter-attack using one-touch passing to beat Atletico Madrid's counter-press. When Atletico Madrid stepped up their pressing in Barcelona's defensive third in the second half, the last 20 or 30 minutes, Barcelona again utilised their counter-attacking with the likes of Salma Pariuelo to expose Atletico Madrid, who had to commit more. Skipping ahead a little bit from this Atletico Madrid throw-in, Barca are able to win back possession, and they're going to look to set up into that 3-2 shape. This was typically against a 4-1-4-1 defensive shape by Atletico Madrid. Here we have the ball being played out wide to the pair of Mariana Caldente and Batlle. Because of just how much possession Barcelona have, they're able to push Mapi Leon, the centre-back, really high up on this left-hand side, allowing her then to be able to play longer crosses or longer through balls for either Bronze or Bruce running in behind, typically on the blind side of the far-sided defender, who again, because they're on the far side, are typically the deepest defender too. Moving on to the 31st minute, off this free kick, Barca set up into that 3-2, basically perfectly up against the 4-1-4-1. We've got Bonmati making a run from inside to out, drawing the midfield across, preventing Medina from really being able to go out to Brooks, because of course as soon as she does, Bonmati will run in behind. With all these runs, dragging dragging Atletico Madrid deeper and deeper. It allows Barca to move a number of players higher up the pitch. Guijarro, who in this scenario is positioned higher, although later in the game, the second half, this is a typical position, is attracting the attention of Atletico Madrid players, pulling them deeper. We've got Mapi Leon pulling more central, more towards the play. This presented her with the option to be able to then play deep through balls for players running it behind, but then also with Bronze running from deep and then linking with these numerous players between the lines. It meant that Barca were able to get the ball into these wide positions and then cross from there with numbers on the edge of the box, Bronze running into the box late, players far side in the box, which is what we see here with that ball out into Brooks. Numerous players underlapping, running, getting into the box. And so by the time the ball gets in the box from that underlapping run, Bonmati is able to fire it in. And we've got now Bronze in the box, Guijarro, Alexia Putellas. And unsurprisingly, from this, when Atletico Madrid try and get the ball out, you already have Kira Walsh high, you've got Brooks, you've got your far-sided fullback. It was really difficult for Atletico Madrid to be able to stage a counter-attack, and instead they just had to clear it and Barca would just go again. Moving past the quick Barca corner kick, you see exactly what I'm saying about Barca being able to just hit the opponent again and again, just these waves of attacks with this cross here, which is too long, but then almost immediately you get another cross, but now from Battier. Okay, so next I wanted to have a look at Barcelona exemplifying that adage, the best form of defense is attack, by pushing more players higher up the pitch. At this point, both teams have made numerous substitutions, Atletico Madrid refreshing their midfield so that they can stage better counter-attack and also press higher, and Barca just getting fresh legs on the pitch. So first we get Guijarro, or Engen, who's meant to be the centre midfield partner of Kira Walsh, pushing higher up the pitch, essentially setting up into a 3-1 now, who's still got those underlapping runs. And then far side, Battier is still looking to try and push into more of a left wing position. This was still against a 4-1-4-1 or a 4-5-1 shape by Atletico Madrid, although because of just how high Battier pushed up on that left hand side, Krnogovic, essentially the right winger, had to drop quite deep, almost to make it a 5-4 at times and prevent Barcelona from easily being able to switch. Just note how much Barcelona have an overload in this central area and how easily they can make these runs in behind, and the difficulty that the defensive unit will have in tracking each one of those runners. So we see Barca looking to try and get the ball through the lines to retain possession, and because of just how deep Atletico Madrid are now, it's really easy for Mapi Leon to be able to push up high into a favourite position to whip a cross in from. Atletico Madrid defend. From that, they're able to regain possession and start a counter-attack. Okay, so from that, we get to see Atletico Madrid build up again. Just as they did earlier, they build up in this 2-3 shape. They're looking to try and play towards the left-hand side, although now they're going to use, instead of Benini, Gabriela Garcia to try and make runs from out to in to try and pull away any Barca defenders looking to try and defend this wide left-hand side space, creating more room for Medina to be able to receive the ball and just drive up the left-hand side. And so, surprisingly, they play it down the left-hand side and then they look to try and get it long, utilizing those fresh legs and the fact that Barcelona obviously press very high up the pitch, potentially exposing their defense. Unfortunately, the attack breaks down, and whilst they're able to get in another cross, that also is defended. But here is where things get interesting. Atletico Madrid set up into this 3-1-4-2 shape against what was an unchanged 2-4 shape or 3-2 shape, with Battier pushing really high up on that left-hand side. This forced Gol into playing the ball over the Atletico Madrid press, but it was made really difficult for Barca to retain possession against Garcia, who's really, really tall. And so this was a good means of Atletico Madrid getting back possession. We're going to skip through Atletico Madrid playing the ball through the Barcelona press and having a runner from deep carry beyond that press into them playing long. And then as that play breaks down, we see that they're looking to try and press Barcelona as high as they can in Barcelona's defensive third, committing as many players as they can, covering those short passes and looking to force out a mistake or a clearance. Of course, Barca building up in that 2-4 shape had Pina at left wing now rather than Caldente, and so she would drop from that left wing position and she would position in behind the forwards pressing for Atletico Madrid and help Barca to be able to escape. Okay, so in assessing this map, I was really intrigued. Of course, Barcelona last season finished 10 points ahead of the nearest competitor, the runner-up, and they only dropped 4 points all season. And then when I looked at these stats, I was going to dig deeper, but when you looked at just even these headline stats, you struggle to comprehend just how ridiculously dominant Barcelona are in their league without these numbers. I'm very excited to see them in the Women's Champions League, but wow, God help the rest of Liga F. And with that, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like, sharing it on social media, and subscribing. And with that, we're out.